This week on Pivot with Purpose.
The second you're giving birth, maybe that should hurt. You're not thinking about shit but an epidural and this baby coming out. And the fact that you might shit yourself. What the fuck is a mucus plug?
Your mucus plug is like a cork from a wine bottle to your cervix.
Got to the hospital. I'm waiting and waiting. It's taking hours because I'm not an emergency per se. I'm like, yeah, I'm just bleeding a little bit. I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So they're just like, well, there's people coming here with a heart attack. So emergency room, we gotta wait. And I go to the restroom and I had a gray sweatsuit and it had leaked through. And I go to the front and I'm like, somebody needs to get me back there right now. This is happening now. Like, this is not good.
She's like, oh, my doula's coming up. And she's like, okay, just tell her to stay in her place.
Welcome back. I was like, peace. No, we're back. We're here. Hello. Welcome back to another week. Thank you for showing up, for being here, for always supporting this girl from Orlando who somehow got in front of a podcast a couple years ago. And I haven't left. And I'm not leaving.
I know that's right.
I'm here to stay, even though sometimes it feels like I just want to quit. But not just this, it's just everything. Sometimes when I wake up, I'm like, I'm done with all this shit and I'm leaving, but I'm not. Before we get started, I do want to let you guys know about Launch Your Podcast in 30 Days. Idea to Launch is my company. I have a production company. I can do it all. If you already have a podcast, you need help, I got you. But if you've been thinking of starting a podcast, I can help you. I can help you do it within 30 days, all on your own, self-paced, at home. You don't need a huge production. All you need is a microphone. It costs $69. I even tell you what it is. Samsung Q2U. Go on Amazon. You can get it. You can also need a laptop. If you don't have a laptop today, you're a drug dealer. So a laptop, because you can even use the one from your work. And then you need, that's it, a laptop and a microphone. That's it. And then my course. You need me. You need me. You can get $100 off. Use the code PIVOT. Go to ideatolaunchpodcast.com and you'll find the course and you can get started. Now, don't give me any excuses and tell me you don't know how to do it because I just told you how to. If you aren't ready to invest into that just yet and you're like, you know what, I'm not sure if it's for me, that's a good thing. Question it. Schedule a call with me. $20, 20 minutes. We'll figure it out. Don't schedule a clarity call to ask me a bunch of questions. You're scheduling a clarity call to figure out how I can help you and if it's meant for you. Now that I got that off my chest, let's get started. I have tried this episode with this person at least 3 times. And every bad audio episode that we've had, everything's gone wrong, it's been with her. So if it happens today, for some reason, while we're in the studio, something's wrong with her, it's her, and I'm never having her on the mic again. Ooh, no. I have 2 doulas here today. My own doula, just life doula, period. My life doula. Wendy. She's here. Y'all know who Wendy is. I talk about her all the time. Now y'all get her on camera outside of Instagram. So there she is, standing up mad straight, acting like we're in some fucking like TV series. This is just a podcast. Just chill, baby. Just chill. Oh, Lord. And then Charlene's in town, and we were like, we're talking about doula shit, and it's her cousin, and we're like, Doug, come through. I'm not gonna. I thought you weren't gonna come.
For real?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, I thought you were gonna be like, I'm busy.
I am busy.
I got shit to do.
I made time.
She was.
I made time.
Was.
I'm still busy. You already know.
Thank you.
Of course, baby.
Well, thank you for showing up because this episode we're gonna be talking about doulas and mom shit. I feel like I haven't talked like mom things and motherhood things in a while. So if you don't like it, bye. I'm just kidding. Don't go. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time. I sprinkle a little shit into. But before we get started, I do want to shout out our listeners and people that show up on a weekly basis and take time to leave us a review. So this week, your name is Hips. That's all you gave me. Oh no, your name is Karen. And it's Karen Nicole on. Oh, Karen.
That makes sense.
Look at you. I do know your Instagram. You've messaged me before. It says, hey girl, it's Karen. Hey girl. She said when she took her time to go write this amazing review. Currently listening to the new episode and you were talking to me. So I had to get on here and finally leave a review. I've been following you for a while and I have listened to all your podcasts and following the changes you've made. I feel like I have an internet friend. We are, Pastor. I love this podcast and how vulnerable and real you are. I take something from every episode and appreciate you sharing your story, the good and the bad, and all the knowledge and lessons behind it. I'm so proud of you and how far you've come. And can't wait to see what else is in store and to hear about it. Oh yeah, you've inspired me now to be a part of the ginger gang. Hey! Well, I'm not ginger at the moment because I haven't done my hair. It has, I don't know what color this is. This is 3 inches of growth.
Caramel.
And
caramel.
We just gonna say it's custom. It is custom. Nobody else can get this color because I can't tell you how many times you have to wash your hair and how many beaches you have to go to and the sun. So
pools.
it's natural. Naturally fucked up. No, but seriously, thank you. If you have not yet left an Apple podcast review, please do so. Just take out your phone. You're listening to it probably right now on Apple. So just 5 stars, nothing less, because this is a 5-star recording. And then also leave me a review so I can shout you out and I can acknowledge you for acknowledging me. All right, let's get started. These bitches are doulas. They be in there with the moms and you have a baby and they're like, yeah, you're doing good. Breathe. Have more babies.
Sounds about right.
The beautiful thing about this is that it's 2 doulas, but I'm going to say it from the beginning. It's a doula with no kids and a doula with kids. But I don't know which one of you guys want to take it, but what the fuck is a doula?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, pretty broad. A doula is a support person for pregnant people. So
a pregnancy doula, because there's different types of doulas.
Well, yeah, and there are doulas that are like full spectrum doulas. So if you're going through fertility issues, there's a doula for that. If you're going through miscarriages or you are getting an abortion, there's a doula for that. There are even death doulas. Yeah. If you're about to depart, like they basically help you and your family to that transition. So doula in itself is just a support person. For us, being that we're mainly birth doulas, we we handle a lot of like pregnancy and
Textbook
birth.
definition will be like an educational, spiritual, emotional support for a birthing mother before, after, and during birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're doing postpartum, you're not only supporting her, but you're supporting the family, kids, husband, mom.
Everybody.
We're a team. When
Yeah.
people are like, what? So what is it that they say? You're a midwife? Oh, so you just do home births. I'm like, no, baby.
You deliver babies?
So I'm like, when you go to the gym, you know that there's machines there. You know that you're going there, you want to work out. You want to get skinny. But you need somebody to help you out. You hire a personal
Especially if
trainer.
you don't- Gotcha.
That's what we are.
So you're the personal trainer.
of birth
Of
work,
birth.
baby.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I always tell people because they're like,
Personal trainer of birth work.
oh.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And it's true because they help you how to get in the right positions, how to use the machines
Exactly.
correctly, how much
Control
weight
your
to use and how
pain.
much weight
Yes.
not to use.
Education too, especially we work with a lot of women of color, and it's a lot of like understanding, hey, you have the right to say no to X, Y, and Z. And not only you have the right to that, but we educate you enough so that you're confident making these decisions. Because sometimes you're like, oh my God, my doctor's telling me to get induced. And you're like, okay, well, you have to look at a few things. Like,
Do you know
why
what it
is this
is?
induction? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Is
this
it
a medical
necessary?
induction? Is your blood pressure through the roof? Necessary. Is it that you're you've just been in labor for 18 hours and your
And
doctor
honey,
wants to
if
go
it's
on a golf
December,
trip. Yeah.
They
yeah.
want to be home for Christmas. Okay?
Right.
make
So
sure you
just
are
make sure you know.
informed.
We basically help you understand how to navigate those questions, those requests, and the why, and you feel confident in the decisions that you're making. Because one thing that I always tell my clients is, I don't make decisions for you. I give you different options, and I support whatever
Advocacy.
you choose.
Right.
Yeah, you can literally. There's no like bias. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you should be breastfeeding, or oh, you should be giving formula. Girl, which one do you want to do? And I'm gonna help you navigate through that.
And that's something
There's
that
already
people don't talk about. I'll actually say, because I'm not a doula, obvi.
You're my
the
life
way
doula.
that I realize
Is she
each other's
really?
life doulas.
Yeah.
I'm a
Mira
doula.
pa' allá.
I'm a doula.
Y yo?
You're like my woman husband.
Baby mama is what I call you.
Yeah.
The way that I got into doulas was I had my first daughter, and then the mortality rate of women of color in the U.S. is ridiculous. Like, and if you don't, I'm not even going to give you numbers. It's just kind of Google it, because we all know. If you don't know it, it's because you haven't cared to listen, or if you heard it, you just didn't care.
It hasn't affected you.
Or it hasn't affected you, because sometimes we don't
I
care
know
about what
that's
doesn't
right.
affect us. Like, I don't care about white people problems. It doesn't affect me. But this affected me. Why? Because I had a very tough pregnancy with Ayana. I was 18. It ended up, I was induced. They wanted to do, what's it called when they want to put the thing in to check for Down syndrome? The needle.
At like 10 weeks.
Hella early while you're pregnant. They want to put a needle in
Yeah,
to
just
see if
to get
they were like, oh,
the
for the
amniotic
risk of Down
fluid.
syndrome. And I go, who has Down syndrome? I'm 18. I'm not overage. Like, there was no risk for it, but I had Medicaid, and they
And it was
want to
just
get us
available.
much
They gotta
money.
milk it.
You know, and the doctors just weren't. I just didn't know what I was doing. So then let's talk about going forward with that. The doctor's not being the nicest. Then I go into birth and I didn't know why I was well, I kind of did. I was high risk and I was being induced. Then I ended up with a C-section. It was just a lot and it became very traumatic. So that traumatic birth, it took 16 years for me to get pregnant again or choose to. I won't say that again. I chose, planned with another human. I'm not doing it alone, but that's beside the point. Right? Is it? Really back. Really back. Really back. No, so now I'm choosing to have this baby and I'm like, look, I want a Black or Hispanic doctor that understands that I need help, blah, blah. And on top of having that doctor, I want a doula.
Right.
Because I kept hearing about doulas and I'm like, I need support because I really don't know what birth is like. I don't remember. Two, I'm not educated on what my rights are as a doula. So I remember finding Keisha.
I love Keisha. Shout out to Keisha.
Love
Keisha. One of my mentors. Love her.
So at this point, I've known Wendy forever. And Wendy's just one of those like caregiving and love babies. Like I love moms.
For everyone.
Like literally, if you breathe, she's caring for you. But we're like, I need to find a doula. So found this doula, loved her. She became my doula. But as I had a doula and I was giving birth. I still remember we had so many conversations with you about what is your purpose. Mm-hmm. And what do you want to do? I know you worked in hospitality for like ever and a day. I mean, that's what you've always done, right? Hospitality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mostly.
Mostly.
The majority, yeah.
And we're like, well, what do you want to do? And we're in the space where I'm with my friends, we got to figure out what we're doing. You know, if you're friends with me or you work with me, you got to be fucked up in some type of way. Mental health.
She's just
a little chemical imbalance.
You gotta be in the spectrum, neurodivergent, depressive, anxious. You gotta have something or I can't be friends with you. If you just calm all the time.
There's something wrong with you. You're a serial killer.
Yeah. Bueno, see.
Yeah.
Why not? As long as it's just a thought and you don't follow through with it.
We can't be alone together because like.
Right. You're like, I don't know when you're gonna break. Yeah. Only the thought. But then we also have to be proactive with our shit. Like I don't want to know that we have issues. Or that we need more and we don't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. So I remember the conversations of you and I figuring it out and I'm like, bro, doula is your thing. And you're like, yeah, I'll get to it.
And we went through things that I recall and I was like, nah, not really. And then doula came up and I was like, huh.
I remember when I told you.
Look into that.
I was like,
yeah,
I didn't know this was a damn job.
She went in.
I was like, I did not know this was a job.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
And it's a job.
It's crazy.
So as I'm dealing with Keisha, I'm like, you're doing everything Wendy does. Like I can see her doing this, so it made sense. And I believe did I already get birth when you started or was I still pregnant?
Yeah. January.
He was born in January.
No. Yeah, you were already ya te había dado a luz. Like you had already given birth.
Okay. So
because I had gotten my my training in beginning of May.
Okay.
Like May 2nd.
All we know is that this pregnancy like kind of sped up the process of you finding like, and you are so good at it. And now she got like a website and everything. She like Mars doula and all this fun stuff. We'll talk about it later how you can get to her. But there's also this thing with doulas, right? And in the doula world, because let's say you have someone and you're like, oh my God, I have these pains. And they're telling you, oh, do this and that. And like, do you know what I'm feeling? So one of the things about these two doulas that we have here is that we have a doula with no kids. Wendy, love her life. I love this for her. And then we have Char, who has 37 children.
Only 3 and 3 more to come. Casi nada.
No. Remember I told y'all we all have to have some type of mental issues? That's it right there. You hear it? She said she wants 3 more kids.
That's why we keep her around.
Something is wrong with her.
Something's wrong with me. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
But she's so good at it, dude.
No,
like some people, you're like, that's why you have kids, because you're like really good at it.
I love being a mom. It's
right.
It's my favorite job. Doulaing is my second favorite job.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love
can't relate.
Shut up. You love
She'd be ready to take other people's kids.
No, I love my children. The job itself is extremely.
It's a lot.
I don't enjoy the job of, well, I guess parts of the job of mothering. Like,
I mean, cooking sometimes
pool
annoying,
parties.
but when you're eating my food, I'm just like, I guess
like
a joy
cooking.
of watching you eat what I just cooked. Like,
oh
here,
no,
baby,
I
I
like
made this
cooking.
with
I
you.
want to
You
clean
see?
afterwards, but I love cooking. I love to like cook and see them go like,
Yeah,
or saw him have his head all in his
best.
food, like,
or leave
eating
nothing
it.
on the plate.
I did that.
No, that feels really good. That feels really good.
Yeah.
But I remember getting Keisha and her telling me that there are some women that don't respect or don't like to have a doula that doesn't have a children because they don't know what your quote unquote experience is. And
Yeah.
I can see the thought process
Mhm.
behind that.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, my doula didn't have children. And she did an amazing job. And I think it came more
She's
through
also more
education.
available.
Like she
That's
So
it.
I want to talk about the differences of a doula with children. So when you yourself are helping someone interview for doulas, please interview them. That's the first thing. You need to interview multiple doulas, see who you
Yes.
feel comfortable
Mhm.
with.
Yes.
Just like any
Mhm.
relationship, because they're going to be there
You gotta have a
to,
vibe.
to support and advocate for you.
Mhm.
But what's the difference between a doula with kids and without kids in a relationship with the mom?
Well,
It's
I feel like for to start off, that was actually something that I felt very.
we had this conversation before.
Yeah, I felt insecure about it at
Mhm.
first because I'm like that same exact thing. I don't have kids.
But just
Like,
because you don't have kids
why-
doesn't mean you're not motherly. Like, this is
Well,
the
yeah.
godmother of all 3 of my children.
Yeah.
And me being such a good mom, because I am, not to toot my own horn,
But she is.
she has to have something. You know what I mean? And she's available more. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. I just came back to doulaing. I was taking a long break.
You're being your own doula.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I have a lot of support because my kids are older. I could just, and babies love to be born at night. So most of the time, hubby would be home. Also having a job that you can just leave and then you need babysitters. I'm in Houston. I don't have people to babysit my kids like that. So I only count on them to babysit themselves. Don't judge me. And my hubby. You know what I mean? I still haven't gone through like having to like call out of work, yes, but not leave work.
Oh, I love calling out of work for,
Yeah,
for a
that's the
mama.
best.
bitch.
Because
I
everybody
love calling
knows.
out.
Everybody at work knows.
Bye.
They're like, ooh, yeah, she's about to, yay, good
Yeah.
luck. They all know because you talk about it all day.
Right.
I'd be like,
I'm telling you.
yup, contractions are getting closer. I'm about to leave.
Somebody
I'm gonna leave,
cover.
like, in 15 minutes.
Somebody cover it.
And I'm in
Figure it
Houston.
out.
Right now, we're in Orlando. She traveled to Houston. I can't do that. I cannot take a plane for you. I got
Yeah.
3 kids.
Yeah.
She can do that. Not that it's one of the things that she chooses to do. She did it for me, but
Yeah.
But
you
if
can
the
do
money
it. It's
right,
your choice. Exactly.
There
Why
is
not?
an
I go to
option.
Zimbabwe, bitch.
What, like a doula without
For
children,
real.
Zimbabwe. A doula without children can choose to to
Mhm.
say, hey, if you want me, there are doulas that can help you find one close to you. But if you want me, we can make it work where contractually I will be there for you. But this is not just a doula during birth. Like a doula literally starts talking to you. I remember hitting up Keisha like week 30, I'm feeling this, and she comes in
Mhm.
twice before and educates me,
Mhm.
advocates. I wanted a home birth. My baby daddy at the time didn't want a home birth. He was
Haters
a little
gonna hate.
scared.
Haters gonna hate.
I will say it does make you feel a little bit more safe, but I did want a hospital birth that felt like I had options.
And control.
Unfortunately, when I gave birth, they didn't allow my doula, and she came all the way to the door. That next day after I had him,
Literally.
they allowed
'Cause
doulas
it was in COVID.
It was during COVID.
Oh, wow.
I had him
The
at
next
12:43, I think, in the morning.
That's
that next
insane.
morning, they changed the rules
That's
to doulas could come in.
insane.
Insane. But she trained him. That's one thing I can't. I always say I had an amazing pregnancy, amazing support, and he did his thing.
Yeah.
That day, she
and you kicked ass
she
in your birth,
I don't
dude.
remember.
You kicked ass,
I
dude.
don't
Did
remember
you have an
shit.
epidural?
No.
No, girl, she
Hey.
labored at home, like for
I
all
labored
of
at
us.
home.
How
I
you
left my
should.
house at
Right.
10 o'clock. He was born at 12:40, I think it was, in the airport. I always say
barely
airport
made
when
it.
I'm thinking of hospital. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit what that support looks like a couple of weeks prior, and what the support looks like in hospital.
In hospitals. Okay. So beforehand, like you said, we're childbirth educators. So we teach you steps of like what is to come. I always highlight preparation, like preparing not only your physical body, but your mental, like preparing for what's to come, anticipating what's to come,
First-
and knowing how to navigate
And you need
it.
to build that relationship. Like in the interview, we need to vibe.
Oh, yeah.
We need to vibe right away. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
In the interview. Because if I'm not feeling you, I can also say, I don't think I'm the right doula for you.
Yeah. After a consultation, I have other
Exactly.
options that may be a better
And right
fit.
after that, it starts. Like that's
Yeah.
it. We're in there.
Yeah. Like
And yeah.
really in there.
And now
Yeah.
you start the education
All up in there.
aspect, different
Right.
different ways. Because I feel like we all
Mhm.
now just think you start feeling contractions, head to the hospital. And most of us,
No.
the biggest thing that I learned was you shouldn't go to the hospital right away.
Absolutely
Yes.
not.
They won't even bring you upstairs. You'll be standing
Absolutely
in a
not.
lobby.
In a triage.
How long do they keep you in triage?
Well, triage is in and out. As like they basically, well, hopefully in and out, because it all depends on the hospital.
If you're, and I'm sorry for
Mm,
interrupting,
no.
baby. And it depends where you at. But if you're like less than 6 centimeters, they're gonna send your ass home.
That's what I was looking for.
They're
Literally.
gonna send your ass home. So you look for the signs. Okay, so how long? First of all, every doula is different. Some
Mhm.
doulas are gonna be like, only hit me up if you're already like 5 minutes apart, just like a midwife when you're
Yeah.
having like a home birth. And
I'm
some
not
doulas will be
judging.
like, oh,
I'm
you
not
just had a
judging.
little contraction. I'll be on my way, like me and Wendy.
Yeah,
Like, I
for
want to
real.
be there the whole time
Same.
because everybody needs a break. Okay,
Mhm.
everybody needs a break. Like your hubby's bugging out. You might still have things to do. He might have to go shopping, and you need somebody there. Like
Mhm.
I always say this. Like we always think about the baby. The baby has to be safe. But what about mom? It's like we kind of forget about mom at the
Right.
moment because
Mhm.
all everybody thinks about, especially at hospitals, is the baby safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is most important. But mom needs you too. Mom needs
Right.
support too from everyone.
And
Yeah.
mom has to survive
needs
and be good
support.
in order to be able to take care of
Absolutely.
the baby.
baby.
So from the educational part that Wendy was talking about, every doula has different packages. Different times they'll go to your house 2 or 3 times before the birth, right? And in there, like we both offer like birthing classes included with the package, right? So we're gonna teach you like the anatomy. And dads, a lot of dads, are, oh my goodness, what is this? Like I didn't even
some
know.
dads think the baby comes out the clit.
And then like
Idiots.
yeah,
Or the
all the
butt.
phases of
Or not the butt.
contractions. For real. All the phases of contractions. And them knowing all this is going to even be like, okay, we don't need to call her yet. Or yeah, I think we should call her now. Or what do
Yeah.
you
Okay.
want?
Yeah.
Some people are so good at handling pain. With my
Mm.
last baby, which my doula did an amazing job preparing Freddie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We were literally watching like some Kevin Hart thing. Remember when his brother,
The
whatever?
special.
Yeah, I was bouncing on the ball the whole time for like 4 hours. I barely made it. Like I was there 30 minutes before Zachariah was born.
Oh my gosh, you spit him out.
I sure did. And I
Literally.
showered before I left. I was like, I need to shower before I go. But, you know,
At a
Head is
birthing
almost
center.
there.
yes,
at a birthing center with her
which
midwife.
I feel like everybody's like, oh, so you're a doula and you're at home births or birthing centers. No, I feel like doulas are most important at hospitals.
Yep.
Because of the system.
Talk about it.
Because of the system.
I agree.
You are so needed in a hospital. And Wendy has called me like almost in tears. Pissed off. I mean, I remember
At doctors and stuff, they're really rude to you guys.
and nurses
Mhm.
because they're like, "Oh, you think you
Sometimes.
know it all?" Like, no, baby, we do.
I've literally had
But-
a nurse tell my client, oh, she's like, oh, my doula's coming up. Like, I just parked. And she's like, okay, just tell her to stay in her place.
Shut up.
That's already like,
Like,
why do
hello?
you
What
have
kind of
that?
vibes?
Why do you have
don't
that
even know
energy?
me.
Right. You didn't even see how sweet I am, how cute
Right.
I am. What the fuck?
well, and
You
also,
switched that up real quick,
I
right?
always no, not even, because I know you are expecting me to act a certain way already because of my title. So I automatically go into all spaces with my hello, hi, my name is Wendelin.
Kill
I
'em
am
with
their
kindness.
doula for this birth. Let me know if you need any help. I'm always like readily available for them as well, because sometimes I've been in births and literally the nurse is like, oh, can you pass me like a few of the
Yeah.
gauzes, or like,
Mhm.
can you pass me that tape? Girl, I got you.
I bet, can you pass me some of your
Right.
paycheck?
No,
fuck?
no, because guess what? At
Carla.
the end of the
Can't be a
day,
doula.
my main priority is mom. And
Right.
if she needs that tape to make my client more comfortable, or she needs something to
Absolutely.
assist, yeah, girl, I got you. I
But
got
also
you.
advocating. So one thing that I do remember from giving birth was my doula teaching my ex, she doesn't need certain shots. She doesn't need they're gonna keep
Mhm.
asking for an epidural. So one thing, I
Mhm.
did not want medication.
Mm.
I didn't want an epidural. And I knew the pain was pretty bad. I labored at home. So it was getting worse and worse and worse. And yes, it is very painful to have a natural birth. I
babe,
get it.
is.
But for me, I'm like, I can do it. And it wasn't to be like heroic, oh my God, I did it. But I just remember how much medication I had in my system before. I know that there are side effects to meds regardless of what it is. I was
Right.
only 37 weeks. So I'm like, let me just give it a chance. I don't need anything in his system or mine. And I wanted to feel, because as much as reading as I did in education, once you give birth, you can walk. And that's one thing I remember from
Right.
having Ayana. The lady in the room next to me, I was down for a week. Ayana was a week I was down. The lady was walking. We had the baby in the same day. She was showering, getting her own stuff. And I literally couldn't even laugh. I had to get enemas to poop. Like, all it's painful. I have stitches and she's chilling. So I'm like, 16-year difference. And I'm like, I want to walk. So the pain kept getting worse from the second that I stepped foot in that hospital. Epidural? And he was there to block and be like, no. And that's essentially what you do, right?
Yeah.
She had to really train him, but if she would have been there, he could have stayed by my side and she would have been like, no.
Yeah.
And neither him or I would have even known that they were asking. A lot of times I didn't hear because it was more than what I heard. When I did hear, he would step up and he's like, we're not doing medicine, don't ask her again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, stop
and you have to be firm. It's like ugly how firm you have to be.
Yeah.
But we also have to understand, like, again, if you understand the certain system, you'll understand how and why they go about things. They have a certain way to go. You come in, if you're progressing, we give you an epidural. If you're not progressing, we start you on Pitocin and then we go from there. We'll give you a membrane sweep or we'll, or rupture your membrane, like, which is breaking your water.
All of this leads to C-section.
All of this can potentially, a lot of times,
doesn't mean that they're doing a bad job. It just means that there is a natural way. So sometimes let your body do its thing. We live in this microwave society that everything needs to be done quick and we need to intervene and we don't need to intervene. When we do intervene, things can happen. Let it go. Now, there will be times where it will be needed. A C-section will be needed. And thank God we have the option to have that. But it is not necessarily needed. A lot of these medications and stuff, like, it can cause issues. A C-section, I love the fact that now people are like, actually, I'm being sarcastic by the love part. I'm going to schedule my C-section. I want my baby born on this date because I love this date. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. This is major surgery. The same way you shun people going to get mommy makeovers or tummy tucks or BBLs, that's the same way you should feel about a C-section. It's even worse. It's even worse. They're cutting through your skin and through your cervix and through your muscles. There's
so many.
Like, there's so many layers that going through to open you, take life out. And now your hormones are all kinds of different. It's not just like,
and the baby didn't even know I was coming out. He was like, oh, what's happening?
Right.
During
Now your
labor, the
breast
baby
milk.
knows.
I was supposed to be here 2 more weeks.
You're not even
longer.
talking about the fact that if you want to breastfeed and this baby's coming out via C-section, your body doesn't realize that it had the baby.
5 to 7 weeks.
So now you're taking forever to produce milk. The baby can't eat. It's like, oh my God,
your
I gotta
body's
give up.
focused
You got
on
other
healing your
babies,
C-section.
You can't lift anything. You can't walk. It's
It's a lot. And then again, if you have a doula next to you to educate you, the second you're giving birth, maybe that should hurt. You're not thinking about shit but an epidural and this baby coming out. And the fact that you might shit yourself. Those 3 things are the only thing.
But
and
we
you're
do
scared
help
also.
tolerate that pain.
Yeah.
There's so many
But
different
that's the beauty
methods.
of it.
You guys have methods. I
Yes.
remember the one with the thing that look like kind of like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And have the
Shaky
what's
one
it called?
feels so good.
When you put the thing like this?
The
What's
Reboku.
The
a
Rebozo.
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 Reboku.
Okay,
Look
the
at me.
Rebozo
Thinking
is-
about the TV thing.
It's basically like a big ass shawl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a
then
Mexican shawl. It's a Mexican
Handmade.
Yeah, it's from Mexican heritage.
And they kind of like lift your belly, they put it under your belly, they cover it, lift it, and then they do some shaking with it. And it really does alleviate the pain.
Yeah.
Also, I remember
relieves the pressure from your belly and it also helps
You
baby
can do it on the
descend.
booty too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember her
And
teaching
pressure.
him how to put me on all fours. He was made. No, just kidding. Putting me on all fours and sorry, putting pressure at
Pressure
certain
points,
places,
yes.
like right on top of my ass crack,
Mhm.
kind of.
Tailbone.
But I don't know what. There was a specific place and a specific way to rub it, and that also made alleviate the pressure and the pain.
Now,
And I was like, ooh.
some moms like different things. So we
Yes.
teach different things and then you get the choice.
Right.
Right. So not everybody wants to be touched or shaken. So there's other things that they can do.
He said, so not everybody wants to be shaken.
Yeah.
Shake
Well,
me
that's
up.
the beauty of giving
Absolutely.
options.
So we give so many options, and in the house calls, that's one of the things we go over as well.
Right.
Like
So
with
it's
different
awesome.
methods.
Different methods.
All different positions.
Some people don't even want you to touch them during birth. Some people
I can
might
see
have
that.
trauma, or they're not. They
Right.
want to deal by themselves with pain. They want you more just watching, making sure you're
Advocating,
there,
making sure people don't do
advocating.
crazy
Don't let me
shit.
talk, but be there.
Bro,
if
I
need
don't.
you.
The fact that we don't, because we don't study, we just fuck and have the kids. Most of us, right? Just
Most
like
of
had a
us.
good time. Here comes the baby. So I remember my mucus plug coming out. What the fuck is a mucus plug, right?
I love mucus plugs.
Yeah.
They
Because-
make me so happy. When I see a
but
mucus
they
plug,
can
I'm
come
like,
out or not come out.
Right, but I didn't have it for Ayana. Now the second time, she educated me on what this could happen. I remember going to the bathroom, wiping, and it literally looks like a loogie.
I like to.
came out your
So
crotch.
it's like egg white. That the way that I like to explain it is like an egg white
Or
material.
catarro to me.
No,
Yeah,
that's
loogie.
it's more
That's a
like
loogie.
it's literally like
My
Big
thing,
loogie.
I always explain it as your mucus plug is like a cork from a wine bottle to your cervix. It's what keeps baby in, and it's what keeps infection from getting in and infection from getting to baby. It's just like your protector. So, and sometimes a lot of people think, oh, I lost my mucus plug. That means I'm going into labor today. You can be losing your mucus plug for like a week
days.
plus type
Yeah.
of thing in pieces, or you can release a whole chunk. Girl, moms
Right
send
before
me.
baby pops out.
Yeah, I'd be
literally.
like, what does your mucus plug look like? Like they'll tell me like, hey, I have some mucus plug. Send a picture. What does it look
Oh
like?
my God. I sent
What
her a
does it look
picture
like?
and I'm like, are you sure you want to get
Yeah.
this?
We
Because it
want
looks
all of that.
disgusting.
I need
We want
it.
all of
Yeah,
that.
doulas are disgusting, but it's
Yeah.
cool because we want to
We
do that.
watch
That's
birth
the only
videos all
You
day.
can throw up. Listen, I tell moms all the time, you can throw up, you can have a bowel movement, you can have
Oh my God, se cagan
blood.
in front of you?
Girl,
Oh,
I
Dios
don't
mija.
care.
You probably think
I don't
and they didn't tell
care.
No, I didn't shit.
I
know
literally
I
do
didn't
not
shit.
care.
My,
Like,
my baby daddy was there and I'm sure he definitely would have
Would've
told
told
you.
you.
He would have told me and the world.
You can throw up, you can poop, you like none of that bothers me because the bigger picture is that this is beautiful. You are allowing me in your space.
Such a doula.
I-
Look at beautiful. That shit was
It
not
is
beautiful.
so
Dude, it
beautiful.
is because
Disgusting.
you
And
know
and it's
the
like,
process.
you don't want to cry. This is not your moment. Stop crying.
Literally.
Literally.
You want to cry?
I've
My
cried.
trainer told me,
I've
she was
cried
like,
in
guys,
births.
if you want to cry, do it on your own time. This ain't your moment. Nobody want to
I
see
ain't
you
gonna
crying.
lie. I don't know her trainer, but I ain't listen to her. Because
Listen,
after,
you gotta
after
think
the baby
about
was
it.
born,
The
I
last-
You
cried.
cry about everything.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
You
I
cry
do
all the
try
time.
to keep it in because it
I
is
can
not
see-
your moment, Wendy.
I can see.
But I
where-
cry like here. Like I let.
I mean, it depends whose doula you are.
One,
you know
if
what I
you're
mean?
like sitting
No, it's
here
just a-
and you're just my doula and you start like boohoo crying like, oh my God, it's a beautiful. I'm like, bitch,
no.
calm
I
down.
Right,
literally,
like,
it's
I'm still
literally.
Calmate, like
No, it's literally like a
No,
few
just-
tears of just like
It's
gratitude.
just, and it's the adrenaline.
I literally like
I
while
feel
moms are
you.
pushing or like inching up, I'm constantly like in my head because sometimes you don't. I don't want to say anything out loud because I don't want to take you off your thing.
Mhm.
But know that God is like in my head and I am like washing prayer over you and this
Absolutely.
experience
Absolutely.
and that strength over you. So to like it's almost like an instant sense of gratification from God. Like,
But when you have
yeah, I hear you,
Christian
bro. I'm gonna
moms,
give
they
her.
want you to pray over them.
yes.
Well, it
You can feel
depends.
it.
It depends who it is too. That's what I'm saying. Like that's
Sometimes
almost
it
like
just
me
comes
crying
out.
in
Yeah,
front of your birth because
that's true.
that might be taking away from you,
Right.
and you just may be in your own jam.
It
I don't
depends
want
on
to
who
add
your,
that.
your client is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to go back to the mucus plug real quick because it's something
Yes.
I did not know. And I feel like people should know. Yes, you're losing this mucus
Plug.
disgusting shit all the time. It's like a little bit
It's
of
just your cervix.
just mucus coming
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
mucus coming
Slimy,
out.
It's your
yeah.
cervix
Then she
shortening
said,
up.
let me know when it has bloody. What's what you guys call the bloody mucus or whatever it's called?
it's
Or
like it
bloody
turns
show.
punk-
Bloody, what is the
Yeah,
word for it? I
yeah.
forgot what the word is.
So it turns a little pink. Sometimes it's a little bloody. All of that is cool. The only thing you want to keep an eye for is if it's brown or green because that can be an indication of a potential infection. And even then, don't be super alarmed by it, but it is something that it's like, okay, let's go get some antibiotics just to make sure that there's not an infection in you while baby passes. But it's like, you're good.
But once the bloody stuff is in there, we're getting close.
Yes.
So now
Because your
there's
cervix
mucus.
is shortening. You're starting to bring all the different fluids
But
that
not
are in you.
necessarily close because a lot of moms might lose it before.
But with the blood one.
I'm talking about the blood one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
By the
Like,
blood.
that's closer.
She said to me because I was sending her mucus, and she's like, "We're good." She goes, "Once there's bloody showing, once there's blood showing, once the blood showed in the mucus in the last part, then she had it over."
Yeah.
And then we were like, and then of course also the
Mhm.
things being far apart. She had just been there for a class, like doing educational at the
Yeah,
house,
yeah.
and she had left a couple hours
That's
prior.
so cool.
But I was like, I'm having a few contractions, and she's like, "You're gonna call me tonight." And literally
She
that night, I
knew.
was like, "You gotta come back. You gotta come back." And she
Yeah.
came back, but that night I had the blood. So honestly, one of the big things that I want to point out with you guys is the fact that one, they're very different. They speak different. They do well. These two are a lot more similar, but a lot of doulas, they're very different. That you have to find the
Yes.
one that's for you, just like your man
Yes.
is for you, or your
Mhm.
woman, or however you're having
Absolutely.
kids. There's doulas that are specifically for LGBT people. There I do recommend a woman of color if you're a woman of color.
Absolutely.
That to me is so important.
Yeah.
You need representation
And understanding.
And
you need somebody that's
understanding.
relatable.
Absolutely.
It's very
like,
important.
They need to be able to speak for you and in a matter. I mean,
Maybe that's why people have so much controversy. I keep hitting this damn microphone. I'm not used to it. That's why there's so much controversy with you having kids or not having kids because people feel so much relatable. Do you follow that dude, Doula Danny? How about boy doulas? You know that
I've
exists?
heard of
Hello.
I follow
Doula,
the
and it's
Teddy.
crazy.
Is it Teddy,
Teddy,
or Danny
yeah.
Doula? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've always wanted to reach out just to be like, how many clients do you get?
They
And
be getting
how
them.
comfortable are
they gay?
Like,
No,
No.
the guy that
They're
I follow,
straight
he has
men.
a whole wife.
isn't that crazy to you? Like, my man would not be okay.
Girl, yo.
okay.
I
with-
can imagine
you
having a man
imagine?
that'd be like, yeah, let's have him come over here and rub your back.
Right.
He's rubbing what?
And he's better than me.
It's not even about having a baby anymore.
Yeah.
Coño.
Are you cheating with your doula?
Right, literally.
But also, as doulas, something I do always highlight: I'm not your partner's replacement.
Absolutely
I'm in
not.
addition to y'all.
Right.
So just
We're
as much
doulas
as
for the
I'm mom's
family.
doula,
Well, I will
I'm
say a lot of
partners.
men don't know how to support because they freak out.
Yeah.
And I remember my ex and my doula getting into it right before we were leaving.
Why?
And she said that happens all the time because he was ready to go to the hospital. She's screaming. She's in pain. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. She's like, we're not ready yet. And we, I think we left. It was good
It
timing.
was a
but
good time.
also
We
perfect.
could have
We
waited
waited
for
a
like
little-
a couple hours, right?
2.5 hours. We were at
Okay.
but I wasn't ready. So when they took me in, I was only 2 centimeters. I
Mm.
remember this white lady, there's a video of it. He was talking to her. I don't know what he told her. And he's like, okay, I'm going to help her. And she went in there and fingered my vagina
yeah.
and did what she did, swiping and
Swipe your
opening or
membrane.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then within 30 minutes, I was upstairs
Starts to
because
releasing
they
the
weren't going to let me
oxytocin.
upstairs because I was only
Yep.
2 centimeters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if he wasn't there and if I didn't have a doula, I would have been sent back home.
Yeah.
And then, but I could have probably stayed home an extra, I don't know, maybe an extra hour or an extra 2 and it dilated a little bit
Mhm.
more. There was something I was about to say. Fuck, I forgot. Oh, y'all don't check vaginas.
No.
No.
I asked her so many times. I've never asked a woman so much to touch me.
No.
Put your finger in the Keisha, please.
Nope.
I'm like, please finger me.
No.
Like, she's like, I can't
Absolutely
do it. I
not,
will not do
baby.
it. And I'm like, I don't understand. You're telling me what it's supposed to feel like. You're telling me how far. You know all of this.
We don't have
Use your
that.
finger.
You want to know
No.
what's crazy? That I can teach you how to check your
I don't
own
want
cervix.
to. I can barely even reach with my belly being so big.
I could teach your partner how to check
I don't
your
want it. He's
cervix.
touching something else and then getting hard on
Yeah.
it. I don't
No.
want
But
that.
no, we do not.
We're
I don't
not
take your
medically
blood
trained,
pressure.
baby.
I don't take your blood pressure. I don't
Nothing.
take any blood from you. I don't check your anything.
We don't
of your
touch the baby
cervix.
when he's being born.
Yeah, none of it.
Yeah, so that's something
It's
else you
a
should know
lot.
about doulas
Mhm.
because I
We're there
I
for you.
begged her and I couldn't understand why she wouldn't do it if she knew what was supposed to be. But then she educated me. She's like, we don't do that. Leave me
That
alone.
makes sense now.
I was like, okay, fine. I'll
Yeah.
go to the doctor. The doctor will check.
Yeah.
And
So-
plus, you trusted her to do that.
Right, right.
Mhm.
How much time are you on, Carlos? Okay.
That makes
Because I kind of want to get into the messy Dominican shit. Oh no, let's get
Get
I'm lying.
Dominican
We're not even,
shit.
We're not even gonna get into it. Actually, we're gonna get into something a little bit more. It's a serious topic, but whatever. It happened. I've talked about this. I was open about my miscarriage. I had a miscarriage Thanksgiving of 2021.
Mhm.
2021.
Ugh, I was about to give birth. I remember that.
Uh-huh. So Psalm wasn't even a year yet.
No.
Yeah, Psalm
Mhm.
wasn't a year yet. I got pregnant again. It was actually her fault. It was all Wendy's
Shut
fault that I got
up.
Not
pregnant.
my fault.
I didn't know
Wendy
that
actually
part.
be saying that because Psalm 2 was like me.
Oh, Psalm was her
Like-
too. She was like, you need because we were trying for a really long time and we weren't getting pregnant. She's like, you need to manifest this baby. So when you're writing it, just start speaking to God and asking him for this baby. And
That
here-
is
Yo,
crazy, Wendolene.
And here's my
It
dumbass.
worked.
At first I'm like, what is she
I
talking
see
about? I'm
that.
like, bro, she's so fucking weird. And then it's like, this baby ain't coming. And I'm like 500 tests and I'm running out of pee. Like
Ay,
every
Dios
month taking a
mío.
test. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. God, give me this baby.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Carla, out loud.
I swear. I
Ew, not
told
me-
him
not
Dios
about
like-
it.
mío,
not like my-
perdónala,
Not
pero
my
qué
face popping
bendición.
up while you're
No,
like,
I know.
Well, I had to have the conversation with him, and I'm like, okay, Wendy said we need to manifest this baby in the middle of it. So like, and then she's like, makes it even more awkward. This is so awful that I'm saying this. She was like, it has to be right before he's about to come. Then you just have to say it out loud and really manifest it. So I'm over here like,
Release.
you need to be conscious of when you're about to do it because we got to do this. We got to
Yes.
say it out loud and ask for this baby.
Yes.
So I'm saying. it
Side
first.
note, this is how strong and how powerful words are, guys. Okay, speak
Yeah, be careful.
positivity.
Yeah, be
in
careful.
the
Be
air,
Careful what you
please.
ask for, but I always say that the power of the
Careful what
tongue.
you pray for, baby.
Whatever I asked for, look what I got. I forgot to say in the middle of the writing and make sure he stays around. Se me olvidó. So for future reference, if you're about to implement this and you're writing and you're like, give me this baby, then say make sure he keeps financially supporting until they're 18 and they stay around and they become an active father. Don't forget that part. I forgot it. Anywho, the point is, so yes, she's responsible for some, and she's also responsible for the other kid that I did not plan because I've always been on birth control. I chose to get off birth control for Psalm. So I was doing the rhythm. That's what I do. And counting the days and being very specific.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I had not had a period in 16, 17 years since 2004 to 2021 because I was on birth control. So I didn't even know what a period or how my period would work. But it came back and it was like clockwork. Like I was counting it and the day that the app said I was going to get it, I would get it and it was perfect.
That's
I'm like,
amazing
this is
that
good.
you got it like that because a lot of times being on it for that long, it's insane.
Yeah.
I never, once I got off,
to your
I never
body,
actually,
Carla.
I know. I never had a period when I got off.
That's crazy.
So I got pregnant and that's why I also didn't know if I was pregnant or not because I never got a period. But then it came back, regular periods. So I'm doing the thing, right? It says this day, this fertility. So she's like, all you have to do is watch the date to have sex. So I was like, oh, I'm not fertile right now. Or I'm not about to be, my fertility doesn't hit until, let's say, it was the 17th, we were about to have sex. It didn't hit until the 19th. So we did it. And then that day, we were really careful. That day, I was like, it's okay. Shoot, baby, shoot. Because Wendy said.
Whoa. Okay, see?
You said Wendy said?
No,
yes.
listen. This is the thing
Bullshit.
with selective hearing. It's still your
I
fertile
definitely have-
window.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me
Girl,
about no
7
window.
days.
You said it was sealed.
Bruh, I literally told her.
Okay, wait. Tell me again about the 17 and 19 day.
So I was having sex on the 17th, but the app didn't show me starting my fertile window till the 19th.
Oh.
But semen stays in you 72
You
hours.
didn't say that.
I literally said be careful with a few days before and a few days after.
She thought about this, didn't tell me.
Selective
She
hearing.
told you after.
Selective hearing.
Right.
A little too
Selective
late.
So then here I come one day, I'm like, my period is late. And then I go pee on a stick and I'm pregnant and I'm like, bitch.
I told
and
her
then
they
we
were
talk
hot
about
boy
the
days.
days.
And then you're mad at
Then
Wendy.
she wants to be like, but what day? We'll see. Actually, and I'm like, bro.
No.
It was that day that you told me that I was good, all right?
No,
I'm like, I was good. You didn't say nothing about no 3 days. All the blue little things on the app show the 19th, not the 17th. So whatever. Now I'm pregnant. Cool. We're about to do this. So now this is where shit gets dark. One day I am in the bathroom and I'm going to, I think I'm like 9 or 10 weeks at this point.
Oh my God.
Somewhere along that line, between 9 and 11 weeks. And I go to the bathroom and I remember peeing and there was blood in my underwear. And I was like, yikes, something's wrong with this. I've seen a TikTok about this.
How did the blood look?
I don't remember. I think it was
really
I
red.
think it was dark. It was no, it was really red.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a lot. I mean, it covered the panty line area.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
And I remember you sent me like a tissue.
It was a tissue, but then I FaceTimed you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, can I just show you? And I turned over the camera and I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm like, look at my panties. And she was like, well, it's not, I remember you saying, it's not a lot of blood, but why don't you just go to the hospital just in case?
Yeah, just to
And I was
check.
like, okay. I remember that he had COVID at this time. He was finishing up his COVID. He never had any symptoms, but I was like, I don't care. I give the whole world COVID.
I need you.
Right, I need you to go. So he drove me. I sat in the back with the mask on. Got to the hospital. As I'm waiting, he stayed in the car. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. It's taking hours because I'm not an emergency per se. I'm like, yeah, I'm just bleeding a little bit. I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So they're just like, well, there's people coming here with a heart attack. So emergency room, we gotta wait. As the time went by, I think it was like maybe two hours on the waiting room. I felt like I was wet, and I go to the restroom and I had a gray sweatsuit and it had leaked through. Now it was a lot of blood, and I call her. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh shit, blood is coming out. There's a lot of blood.
That's when I kind of knew.
Then you're like, what? I know I freaked out. And I go to the front and I'm like, somebody needs to get me back there right now. This is happening now. Like, this is not good. They bring me back right away. They sit me in the bed.
Mhm.
They give me the thing to get undressed. Someone's
The
going to come.
gown.
And before someone comes, he now comes inside. No, he's not coming inside yet. I'm still by myself inside. And I start feeling more blood coming. And that's when I saw, while I was sitting, like, clots and particles and big, and while I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. So that's I remember calling him and I said, no, I don't care if you're gonna give the entire world COVID, get in here. By the way, he didn't have COVID by that time. He got the results. He was good. He comes in, and that was it. Like, they checked. Then he gets there. They come and check me. They're like, go to the bathroom. When I go pee, I heard the fall in the water. I was like, well, there it goes. I know what happened. But and still in your mind, I think you're in denial.
You're
It's
hopeful.
Yeah,
It's
you're
just like mourning death. You be in the.
I don't think at that point I'm like, there's something wrong, but we can save this. Maybe they can plug it back up.
You think
I don't
so? That's how you thought.
Give you a little hormones.
So
to
because
hold it.
then afterwards they make you pee, they take your blood work, and you're still pregnant.
Right,
Everything
because there's
is
still baby in there.
I don't know that. So
the hormones.
there's still hormones within you, so it shows very pregnant. And there's levels of pregnancy, and it's still showing full blown pregnancy.
Yeah.
But I know I heard and saw what in the toilet. But I'm like, all right, this could be like a plug or something. But I don't know what came out of me. So about an hour later, they bring me back for a vaginal. There was nothing there at this point, like nothing. It's just empty. And they're like, well, you literally I guess I found out most people don't pass the whole thing, and they might have to go in and take it out or do whatever. No, mine just all the way out. I was clean inside. But I say all that to say that was my experience with a miscarriage. I do have a friend here who had also a miscarriage, but her miscarriage was the baby was just not moving. There was no more heartbeat, and they literally had to do the pill abortion at home to be able to get rid of that baby. Others, they have to go in
like manually
and take everything out,
like a vacuum.
Now here's the kicker. I did have her as a doula, and I had her as technically a miscarriage doula, because I did not know, and I don't know if you know, you go through postpartum. You just had a baby, literally. So the same feelings and hormonal imbalances that I had when I had Psalm, I had now, and I had no idea.
Ain't that crazy?
I had no idea. So you had me do some shit. So I don't remember. I was stressed out. Plus my nigga left me by myself and
it was
flew
a
you up,
lot
but still.
of just mindful things to put into your body. So we went to, you still lived in Jersey, so we went to, I remember I was like Googling herbal stores, and I don't like no rinky-dink herbal store. Like, I want the big jars of herbs.
Jars everywhere.
I want you to go into each herb that I need and put it in a separate bag. That makes my heart happy. I feel like that's as natural as it can get, besides going to an actual field.
Right.
So I was very intentional of, now also, this was very much like you're family to me, you're a sister to me. And this was a time that I'm not a miscarriage doula, but this is where you needed me to show up. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, we're going to figure it out.
She called me
together. I actually,
out.
For help too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she was pregnant too.
I was pregnant. I'm like, this is a lot. And she's like, what do I do? Like, I don't know how to help her because we care about you. It's like,
so it's like a personal thing.
It's not like you're just talking to a random person. And I'm like, oh my God, Wendy, I'm like, you got to do it. You just got to be there for her and do what you got to do.
I didn't know you were scared.
Of course she was, baby.
And you're far, dude. It's not like I can just drive from Miami to
pregnant ass. Made me cry.
My pregnant ass was crying. I was like,
punch my titty right
now. You know what's crazy? That I was literally on the toilet when she called me, and you said you called her on the toilet. I'm like, this is just too much.
And really, I was calling her just for to be my doula. Just like, okay, I'm gonna tell her these herbs. Like, do you agree with it? And then just like some mental health check type of thing with her,
coaching
type of thing
to be the coach.
Yeah,
right.
And
we
all need a doula. Doulas
you did a really
doulas.
good job.
Thank you.
She does a good job at everything.
Yeah, so mainly it was just getting
you
what
were those herbs
and vitamins.
That's basically
it was like raspberry leaf, nettle, just to basically
like ginger also.
Same things we would give a mommy.
It's to get your uterus back, because what happens is that your uterus is literally like an open wound now from having a miscarriage. Just like when you, like a lot of people think that when you bleed, when you give birth, that it's like a first period or like it's just like a little bit of blood. No, this is your uterus that's healing.
You're bleeding
from a
for
wound.
like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And your uterus expands 200%.
So
Jesus.
it's like literally
insane.
getting your body and your hormones too. I had given you a few vitamins too.
A few. You had me. I had a thing, and it looked like I was 90 years old.
Yeah.
Diabetic with heart problems.
But they were like all
it
all
was all
natural.
vitamins.
Yes.
I remember we had zinc. We had vitamin D. We had vitamin C.
B6.
We had B6. Just so many.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 for sure. And then on top of the herbs. And then we had like the little drop for
to put the herbs in.
So
And
I
you-
would tell her there was like 3 different herbs that we would put in there, and then she would drink it in the tea.
Mhm.
And mostly this is to heal your physical, but it was also for your hormones to like help you. Because now you have to think,
AKA
not
your
only are
mental.
you having those postpartum hormones,
Mhm.
but you're also super sad.
Right.
Like those
Mhm.
hormones are like plummeting because you lost a baby. So that was very important. And just being there, I was grateful that I was able to like go to the store with you, that I was in Jersey for a few
know.
days.
That's one
just
thing
to
I
be
called,
there.
and
Just
Paola
to be
came
there.
first. I believe, like, who came first? You or Paola?
I think Paola.
I think Paola came first, like right away for a couple days. Paola left, and you showed up the next day,
Yeah.
or maybe even that same evening. Because I will say it really sucked that he wasn't able to be there. Showed his ass,
Mentally.
or physically.
Yeah.
He wasn't there either. He left the next day.
Yeah.
But
Like
I
y'all
had-
broke up, or
No,
it was
he
like he
had
was
things to
working,
do.
right?
They kept working.
They could work. Bueno.
There was no check coming in. So he
Vagabundería.
checked out. And it's part of, I get now in hindsight and seeing someone who's not emotionally available. And when you actually need them there, they can't be because they just
They
don't
have
know
to
what to
check
do.
out.
They check out. So at least I had, not at least, thank God, I had Paola who was able to come, packed up her daughter and came. And you came in. I will say he definitely financed that. He was like, have them come. I got it. He paid for both the flights. So they were there. So I am grateful for that. It would have been nice for him to stay, but I had my
But it's
family
such a
Mhm.
that's still there.
package. Like I can't sit here and be like, oh, the herbs and the vitamins is all you need. No, you need
Rest.
friends, you need family, you need sleep, you need to drink water, you need to be able to have healthy meals. Like all of these things play a
Replenish
huge
your
part.
body.
Right.
So
That's
I
one
was
thing you were doing. You were making sure I was drinking water. You were
Yeah.
making sure that I was eating. You were helping me with the baby.
adamant.
So that was another thing. She was there. I still had a baby, right? Like I
Yep.
still had to eat. I was
Yep.
had to figure out how to get food. I was living in the middle
Weren't
of
you
nowhere.
still pumping?
I was still breastfeeding and
Breath-
pumping.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was
So-
literally in my titty. Like
I
I
mean-
was exhausted. And then all the stress was putting a strain on my
Do you
milk.
think it was a different feeling breastfeeding and having a baby doing the miscarriage? Do you think if it was like
I think I was during this time, this miscarriage happened 3 months before I left Jersey. So in a way, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth, I was relieved.
I feel you.
Not that I didn't want the pregnancy. I was going forward with
It's
it.
a lot of work.
It was a baby. But the thought of having another baby and seeing the fact that with the first one I wasn't getting any
Mhm.
support. It's like, I'm gonna do it
Absolutely.
now with 2. I didn't want 1. And it's like I thought 1 was gonna be great. It didn't happen. It's like 2 now. What am I going to do? I'm never gonna get
Mhm.
back to work. I'm never gonna have a life.
Mhm.
I don't even like kids like that. So it's like I'm gonna love mine, but I'm not your I want all these kids type of woman. I'm not. I love my children and I want my children, but at my
Mine.
big age of 36, I don't want no
Mhm.
more.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So there was a sense of relief. And I think I also through prayer felt like, you know what? It was a reminder, it's time to go. You're here longer than you needed to be. So sometimes we see a miscarriage or losing a baby like, oh my God, it is devastating. But at the same time, what's the
It
lesson here
sounds
and what's the
crazy to
blessing?
say, but God's timing is always perfect.
Bro, perfect. Like literally right after this, I started finding things and realizing things. And I'm like, whoa, if I was pregnant, I would have never realized it because I would have been in this mind, in the state of mind of pregnancy. And when you're pregnant, you're like baby, body, me. And it's very
other baby.
Right. The other baby, like I would have never realized what was going on. So I'm extremely grateful that I had you, that you had her.
Even if it was like for a quick phone call.
Right.
To be
That
like,
we had flights and we had the finances to bring you up, that you had the time. That's when a doula without kids comes into play.
Yeah.
Get it to the airport.
She actually came to me from you. Didn't you come from Jersey?
At one point, she came from Jersey. I don't know if it was that time,
well-
but one of the times.
Well, no, like
No,
I
I
flew
think
back
so.
to Miami and then I came to you because that was end of November.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with you
for your
through
birth.
beginning of December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's if you've experienced a miscarriage, as sad as, because first you're depressed as fuck afterwards because of the hormones, and then just the thought of like, damn, baby gone. and it's sad, and you weren't in the position where I was. Well, I didn't know that I was in that position just yet. I didn't know that I was getting ready to check out. I was still very oblivious to the end of my relationship. So I was in it.
Yeah, you were like on autopilot to
Yeah. My life was
to
on
the
autopilot.
ends.
When you're in a relationship like that, you really feel like this is what you want, and you
Survival mode.
Yeah.
complete and total. I am still in survival mode in a different way, but it's still survival mode.
Trust me, baby. I feel you.
Everybody's like, you're so strong, and you get it done.
I don't want to be strong.
I don't want to be strong anymore. I'm
don't
so
want to.
tired of being strong. And you guys are confusing strength. Actually, I want to be strong. I don't want to be in survival mode. We're using
Yeah.
the wrong S.
Yeah.
I'm in survival mode versus being strong. When strong is like, I'm okay. And I'm just a strong bitch. No, right now I'm just trying to survive. Because if I miss one day and if I'm not able to be there,
But you are a strong bitch, baby.
I am. So I think if I'm going to change, I do
You
want to
are.
be strong, and I
Yeah,
am strong.
you
I just
are
want to get
strong.
out of survival mode.
Yeah.
I want to get out of that, and I think I'll be out of there soon
Mhm.
and at some point. But
Amen.
it'll all work out.
In
So
Jesus' name.
for doula purposes, I do want to just tell everyone, or maybe from your guys, how do we find a doula? Like, what are some of the things they should look for in a doula? Like a couple quick things, like, hey,
Mhm.
focus on this. This is a red flag on a doula. This is a green flag on a doula.
Mhm.
And then how can they get you guys as a doula and what you do?
So a lot of doulas offer different services too. Definitely social media now. I suck at social media.
Me
Wendy is
too.
you're so
Oh
much
my God,
better than me.
stop.
You
Oh my God.
are.
Yeah.
So do not judge a doula by her social media because I am amazing. Okay?
No, judge me. I'm great. No,
Yeah.
she said it.
But don't just look at the outside, okay? Like you said, interview a few and get the vibe, because you're not gonna know somebody's vibe by what we put. A lot of times you look up doulas on Instagram and we're all doing the same thing because we want the information up there and we want to be
Right.
seen. Most of us have websites, business cards. Me and Wendy both will go to like different birthing centers, hospitals, put our business cards out there. Word to mouth a lot. People love that, right?
Yeah, so word of mouth thing, or just a podcast. I literally have them here for you because you're like, where do I find one? Well,
we
here they are.
appreciate it,
We thank
baby.
you.
We
I
really
know.
appreciate you.
Love you.
I love,
love
you guys.
it.
But not just them. Like, there's other rights,
Yeah.
right? Now, you don't travel?
No, baby.
Do you do
But
virtual?
Well,
I do
travel-ish.
virtual. I do
You
travel-ish, right?
travel-ish.
I'm in Houston, which has 7 million people in it.
Houston's
So
in Texas, just in case you don't know geography.
yeah, Houston, Texas. So I am traveling no matter what part of Houston you're in, because it's huge, and surrounding areas. I'm
Okay.
willing to go 3 to 4 hours, even more, because it's birth.
As long as you
Yeah.
can drive there, you're
As
going.
long as I
So
can
Houston
drive,
and
I can
surrounding
go.
areas for
I do virtual as
Charlene.
well.
And you do virtual.
virtual.
Yes.
It's an option. Virtual doulas is an option.
Yes, ma'am.
And we've
Okay.
had successful clients
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
virtual.
And then you are considered Florida or just South Florida?
So I do South Florida, Central Florida.
Okay.
But same thing. I mean, if I can drive to it, it's pretty accessible. There's a little bit of like a little travel fee added to it, but
so
it's
there-
attainable.
if this is who you want and you're not in Central Florida or South Florida, money talks. And again, I will say we're not talking about $20,000 for a doula.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the range of if we give a range, we would say maybe somewhere between
Depending on where you
1,500 to
live.
5,000.
So this is
Oh,
also
no.
something that a lot of
5,000
people.
is more like a midwife, baby.
Yeah.
No, I feel like there are doulas that charge that much.
It depends where you are.
And what
That-
you
that-
want
to
and
think
what
of-
you get.
But that's what I'm giving a range. So
Because in like
you're
little
gonna
states,
choose your package.
you might get a doula for $800, $700.
Okay, so
Minnesota.
again,
Yeah.
but so
I'm from
again, let's do this
Kansas.
range. You can go from 700 to 5,000. Again, I'm saying
Yeah,
5,000 on the
yes.
high end.
Yeah.
Getting
Yes,
all the bells and
Included
whistles.
postpartum,
Yes.
Yeah,
included
they come and cook for you. They
Yes.
come and
placenta
clean for you.
encapsulation, all
all
of
And
of
we
it.
give so much.
So
Yeah.
I
Like,
think that people might think like, oh my God, I might need to mortgage my house for this. No,
No.
you can
No.
include a packet. You can include during your baby shower a doula fund.
Yes.
right.
So some people don't think about that. Hey, a doula fund. Everybody give $20, $30. Don't
For my
diapers and doula. Bro, this baby is gonna be in a fucking onesie the first 6 months. I kid you not. They're gonna be
Yep.
shitting on everything.
Yep.
Like you just,
Staining everything.
so Pampers and a doula fund is literally what you really
Mhm.
need.
Yeah.
For
And
your
a lot
baby
of
shower.
us do payment plans.
Yeah.
You do the payment
Yeah,
plans,
yeah.
right? Yeah. A lot of us do payment plans. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's
I'll
so
tell you,
worth it,
fuck
guys.
them
And-
saying
and
it.
I'm a
it's
very-
worth it.
I think it also depends on like one thing I remember in my training was as a birth doula, like knowing your worth. So I mean,
Aren't
Carla
I so
be
bad
knowing.
with that?
Bro, I am
I'm the worst.
terrible.
No,
No,
you're
we're
not.
both
You-
just as bad.
Girl.
We're both just as bad.
I'm like, but I
But
can
it's-
help
it's
you
that
no
I
matter what.
love-
Call
bro,
me.
Yo,
But this
I
is
know. I'm
also-
sorry, Carla. I just love
I'm the
it.
business head, right? So I'm like her business manager. kinda,
Yeah.
unofficially.
And she's
And
like, what?
listen,
And I'm like,
she's like,
but
I have a
she really
consultation.
needed to know.
I have a consultation, and I'm like, all
I
right,
just
30
love to
minutes.
do it.
Free consult, 30 minutes. So if y'all be calling for these consultations, I'm going to tell you how to get them, and they're going to be in the description. Get a consult with them. If you go over 30 minutes, tell me.
I do an hour consultation.
Stop. It's like
Ay,
an hour.
cállate la boca.
I
You
do-
talk.
We
but-
gotta
but
get a
that's 'cause I get to
vibe,
know the
baby.
person.
No, she's lying, though. She does not do an hour.
She does
She's
like
there
3?
half a day. She's there all day, and I'm like, what hasn't
But
she
she
called
get
me
that
yet?
client, baby.
No,
Let
so
me tell you,
listen,
she'll
but she
close the
get-
client every time. But then she'll be like, I'm just gonna go to the house real quick, or I'm gonna take a call. She'll be doing like extra calls and stuff
Okay,
like that. But
I
blame
feel like
her
I went to go
mom,
get lunch.
okay?
I went
Blame
to go
her
get
mother for
lunch
that.
with my client.
That's
This is just
Tristenda
her.
parte though right there.
this is just her.
But-
But what the whole it doesn't mean you're ringing her ass business wise, but that is what you're gonna get with them.
Yeah.
You're gonna get someone that is not just like, okay, well, contractually it says that I'm only gonna meet with you for 30 minutes.
Right.
We're at
right.
31 minutes.
But
it's
there's
done.
people
That
that
are.
are like you, baby.
So, like
and
you
they
were
want
saying, that's a red flag.
Yes.
That's
Which is why
to
I'm
me, that's a red
saying-
flag for a doula.
what?
Like you just
Oh,
saying,
heck
like,
yeah.
hey, for everything, hey, per the contract, hey,
Yeah.
what? Or there, like you had said, there are some doulas that, which, hey, no beef, it is what it is. But some doulas will be like, hey, call me when they're like 6 minutes apart.
Right.
As opposed to, again, there's a personal thing. I say, call me when you need me. So that can look
Exactly.
like, literally, I've
No, you need me if you
supported
wanna reach
moms.
me. What's
Yeah,
up?
Kim Possible.
Especially yeah.
There are, I've supported a mom where I literally go to her house, do a few pressure points, give her some aromatherapy, just kind of be with her there while she naps. And then fast forward, I leave back home and I'll see her in 3 days, 4 days. And then that's when, she actually needs me there again
birth.
because like
And I
real
remember you'll
labor-
be like if you have a hospital birth
started.
or a other birth or whatever the hell it is.
oh, I will be like
it-
3 days.
30
Oh, yeah.
hours, and I was
Yeah.
like, woof. you
36
probably-
hours, mom's
I'm
a
like, I know
twin
you
was
stink
the
because you haven't
longest.
showered.
I mean, I had a mom that literally had nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. I
And
was
that's
there
the thing.
for like
Yeah.
27 hours.
And it could be
Yeah.
like
exactly.
they might have lost.
and I had to go straight
death-wise.
to work.
They could be in the military. They could
Mhm.
have a job that keeps them away.
Mhm.
They could
Toxic
you could just-
family.
all of that.
It's
So,
so much.
you can get these doulas now. I for Wendy, South Florida, Central Florida. Do you do virtual?
I do virtual.
Mhm.
Okay.
But also I am willing to, again, this is where the no kids thing kind of goes into play. If you have a baby, you're about to have a baby in Los Angeles. Now, mind you, I am mindful to be like, hey, I know these great doulas in this location. But also some people are like, no, I only want you as my doula.
Mhm.
And in which case, yeah, we can negotiate some things, like we'll work with some things. And even clients that I have now, so something that reeling back to when I was trained is like knowing your worth as a doula. And guess what? Sometimes, and I've done it, I've done it. Sometimes you don't have, $1,900 to like put towards this.
Mhm.
But maybe you only need me for actual birth support. Maybe you're just like, hey, just text me throughout and I just need you at the hospital with me or at the birth
you
center.
have done that.
Without
Let's
all
go.
the other
We can
stuff.
work around that. If you have an uncle that's a mechanic and can guarantee me and my boyfriend, 4 oil changes, we'll work something
You'll
out.
barter something.
Mhm.
Because
Everything
I am,
is customizable and
you have to think also my
Absolutely.
lineage. My great grandmother was a midwife. She wasn't taking payments. She was like, tú tienes un saco de arroz. Like, you got some, tú
Deadass.
tienes víveres, tú tienes yuca.
right.
Like, and that was an honor back then. People, una
It's still an honor.
Una
to have
partera,
a
yeah, like
doula at
right.
your
A
birth.
midwife is like,
For
people
us.
you would turn godmother.
Right.
Tú eras madrina de lo niños.
And that was the midwife.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that was an honor. You're bringing my child, here.
So essentially,
Mhm.
she's saying that she ain't doing this like this. She just got comfortable. Now we're finna wrap up because she's really showing you her side of she does the most. And it's a good, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift for you. I'd be pissed off. But that's just the business part, and I'm not having the baby. Now I love it on my end when I'm the patient and the client.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at the business, you're spending too many fucking hours with that.
Yeah.
That's literally what
Time
you're
is
gonna
money
get.
for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Good thing I really don't run her business. She
First
runs her
time
own.
is
I just be like
love.
consulting.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you want to have coffee at home? Yeah, I'll come over.
Yeah, to be real with me now, my clients know I'm like,
seriously.
you go over your time, I'm sending that invoice.
No,
but
same thing. Like postpartums, like I have like 5 hour. Like if you had a postpartum package with me, I stay with you for 5 hours for these meetings.
She's lying. She stayed 10.
And that I'd be fucking up because and like it's really not, but like it is because like
She's
really,
like, I'm cooking. I'm like, you're still cooking over there? She's like cooking
And
stuff.
it's not like crazy. It's not like I really do stay 9 hours. It'll literally be like it's a 5 hour day, and I'll stay there like 6.5. But it's like my task isn't done.
Yeah.
I can't just because it's 5 hours in. I was still folding those clothes.
No,
for
and
you.
it comes back to you tenfold. It really does.
I was just gonna say.
And you
every
need
time it comes
that.
back.
You need that. You
and
know
it's
how
so amazing.
much.
It feels amazing.
You know how much like sometimes moms just need like just a little tidy up in the house. Just cook a meal that
important.
I can have for a few days.
That's
Yeah.
one thing, and we'll definitely
yeah.
say you need a doula, you need Pampers, and you need food and someone to help you at the house after you have a baby.
Bam.
Boom.
That's it.
That's what you need.
That's it.
To find Charlene in Houston and surrounding areas, it's soundsofdoula.com. It'll be in the description. And to get Wendy, South Florida, Central Florida, and virtual and placenta encapsulation, look it up. Google it, bitch.
Oh yeah, we
It's
both. Honestly, if we could start going down our list,
you'll see everything.
A whole
Charlene
bunch
actually
of
has
stuff.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlene
you
has
can look
more
at all
under her
the things they
belt.
do. There's so many things that they do. That's marsdoula.com. Also, I will link it. We're gonna end it up and wrap it up with our Bible verse. We're gonna do first Thessalonians 5:11, and this one is because I love them both, and I feel like these are not only doulas and professionals, but they're my friends. So I chose this one because it says, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. And I just want to let you guys know you guys are doing amazing. I love what you do. I couldn't do it. I would be like, epidural for her. She's screaming too much.
Me boy.
She's still complaining. Actually, how long have we been here? Bruh, I'm tired. So you need someone that cares. Like, podcasting, man, I care. And I'll put extra hours in. I'm like, it's just a quick, like, whatever. Like, I'll help you with it. Call me.
Yeah.
So you can't get mad at us.
That's us. I know. I'm like, you're doing it.
yeah,
You're an
what the
us.
heck?
do the same thing in my field,
In
but
a
it's
different
because you
field.
love what you do.
It's a
So I
passion,
understand
really.
it. I'm just coming as a business because I don't have the emotional connection that you have. But if someone came to me and was like, no, don't do that extra consult, or you went over on your time, which I always do. So I know what it is. So definitely have people around you that encourage you, that build you.
Yes.
You guys are doing amazing. Continue to build. I feel like you're both working in your space. I feel like you have all these children and you're still surviving
And I
you're
love
still
it.
doing and you're just great. And I'm trying to get her to stay in Orlando, but she just
I
listen
love
to
you,
me.
baby.
Listen to me. And then Wendy, I've been trying to get her to move in with me, but I don't have.
Why?
I can't. She said I don't have the 10-incher for her, so she won't stay.
I come.
She yeah, sure, whatever. She like, yo, bro, I don't know how a decade, and she ain't never cooked for me, but this nigga gets juices and rice and
Que
beans
tú no la
every day.
cocinas. Well, girl, I've known her since I was
You ever
11
had
years
a meal
old.
from her in
Maybe
the kitchen?
2.
Right.
Maybe
cooks
2. I'm the cooker.
10 meals a day. Yo, I be serving her on a platter every day. And now
That's
this
what you call a
nigga,
housewife,
you gotta fuck her
right?
to get it.
I love
That's
that
just-
for me.
I love that
so
for me.
good.
I was like, I'll
You
support
motivate
you.
me to cook for
I'm like,
him.
I'll support you the same. What else? I love them to death. These are my
We love
girls.
you.
Thank you for coming. Finally,
I love you. Thank
In
you for
studio.
Thank you for
us.
having us.
This is an
Especially me, because I
honor.
was like, I don't know where. I was
I
so
know.
excited. Listen, I literally prayed on it.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
She be praying on everything. I like
do.
it.
I
This
prayed
was
on
actually a
everything.
literal calling.
I was like, God, if I need to take a break, let me know. God's like, you is not taking no break.
No, you're coming.
Yeah.
I-
Yay.
And then you come out of nowhere like, hey, you want to be on
I
it?
need you to be-
Yeah, I'm like,
Yay.
2 doulas.
Bro, I be talking to
Yay.
God like, God, not that quick. I didn't know it was that quick.
You really do deliver. Coño.
We're just on it today.
Shout out to James,
Amen.
my favorite.
You didn't have no
Yo.
meetings today, bro. Just me. Just me.
So nobody was dying today. That you
Nobody.
have to be
Right.
You have to be that
Okay.
Main
present.
focus.
Hey God, it's me again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Grateful,
Yay.
grateful.
Thank you for being here. We'll be back next week. And check out idtolaunchpodcast.com. See you next week.